So it's the night before Baltimore Comic Con. Hope to see you there. Got a small haul, read some things, want to talk to you all about it. Let's roll that intro. So as said before, it's the night before Comic-Con in Baltimore. I know I'm excited. I hope you are too. But I went ahead and picked up a small haul and read through everything today, so I wouldn't leave you hanging because chances are probably not going to have a whole lot of time to do a lot of videos one-on-one. I'll do my best, but definitely going to have a lot of content over that weekend, so make sure you stay tuned for a lot of that. Also, what did you think about the Ralphie video that we played earlier this week? Definitely let us know in the comments, and we'll see if that's something we can do on a regular basis. So without further ado, let's break down. Got a little bit this week, not as much as I normally do, but still some interesting stuff happened. Right up off the bat, let's go ahead and talk about this. Justice League number 34. In this, I really realized what they were doing. They're playing off of concepts of past, present, and future, and every past, present, and future. What I'm talking about is in 1944, where half of our Justice League has been broken up into. They have something that's older there, and that's Vandal Savage and his Legionnaires. I thought that was really cool. And then, of course, they have the present superheroes, and then they have the past superheroes there as well, trying to find out some way to work together. In the present time frame, same concept. Everybody's from space, so space doesn't have any time overall. And then in the future one, they take all the future Justice Leaguers that are all in Brainiac's little jars, and then we have Candy in there, who's kind of their version of a past, even though he's in the future, but he's very caveman-like. And then we have our current superhero team as well. I really like what they're doing here. I just think it's very cluttered, and I think most of that has to do with the pacing and the art in it. But overall, this was okay at best. It's a decent read, and it's a good arc. I would definitely pick it up. I'm having fun with it, and just more and more disaster happens in this thing. Perpetua has been, she has all of her power, and everybody's hearts are towards Doom now. So a lot of weird things in that, and we get a flashback of it in our next comic book, or flash to it, I should say. Yeah. Batman number 81. So basically, Tom King has done everything he can to make this a completely confusing story, and then tried to button it up like, aha, see, it all really makes sense, and it doesn't. This is just weird. Apparently the Joker the entire time was Clayface, with no clue to that whatsoever. And of course, Batman and Catwoman are fighting through this whole thing. The Bat family tries to beat up Thomas Wayne, the Dark Universe version of him, and apparently they failed at that so poorly that he went and grabbed a cup of tea. Yeah, that happened. And apparently there's a language that you can talk when you're punching somebody. That made no sense whatsoever. This thing's just a muddled mess. At this point, I'm pretty sure it's just a phone in. King's like, hey, yeah, what I was reading my life passage. Yeah, explain that in a bubble real quick. Yeah, just take care of that for me. Just throw some random dialogue in there. It doesn't matter. Because I guess it doesn't. And it's just a messy story. Last for DC, we got DC Metal Man. I didn't read much Metal Man or Metal Men when I was younger, but apparently the entire thing was a hoax, according to this issue. I thought that was funny. So basically, the robot people are not alive in this, in the sense that they think it is, and the entire time it's just a mimic of some sort. The good doctor in here apparently is some kind of genius, and he's also kind of a charlatan at the same time, and the robots find out. So much so that each one of the robots is named after a particular type of metal. Even the Mr. Gold and female Platinum, yeah, they're not real platinum and real gold. That's a real, your entire identity got stolen from you is pretty much what this is talking about, which makes it very interesting. We also get a segment of nth metal in this, and the end metal, nth, I think is what they're calling it. And apparently it's sentient to some degree, which is right up his alley, because that's what he's been faking the entire time with his robots. So some interesting things may happen there. I don't know about this one. I'm still on the fence. Let's see where the story takes us. If it takes us down a narcissistic dark path, which That would be kind of interesting. I'll definitely be picking it up. But if it all turns out it's the best I could do, please forgive me. I'm really a victim. I'm dumping it after that. Next, we picked up some good old-fashioned Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. We find out how important the mech suit is to Rocket Raccoon in this, who's slowly dying. We find out where Magnus is and how he's been there the whole time, not realizing that it was a tie-in to the Thanos story that we just came off of. That was pretty cool. Drax is back, but it's not our Drax. It's a meaner Drax, like old school Drax. Which is really cool. A lot of funny stuff going on in here. Of course, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, Moondragon, and Magnus now are all going to go help Peter Quill by crashing into the Universal Truth, or the Universal Church of Truth, and try to save him. This is good. This is just good comic book fun in this. I've been enjoying it. The art's pretty solid in it. So I'm definitely going to be reading some more of that. Let's see what else we got here. Absolute Carnage versus Deadpool. This, I believe, wraps up this one. I could be wrong on that. Yeah, it has to wrap it up. It doesn't have a choice. So Deadpool gets away with help from Spider-Man in this, and Spider-Man learns the value of his friendship with Deadpool and pretty much what it is. It's pretty much one-sided. Great battles in here. Scary stuff going on. It was just awesome. And although I will say that Deadpool's like witty comebacks in this one were a little lacking and a little long-winded, but for the most part, it was a fun book to read. So yeah, that was, and I believe I got one of the variant ratios for that as well. Let me check my notes real quick. Yeah, there's your 1 in 25 variant. I should really put that in plastic or something. All right, next. This one is a ratio variant, 1 in 25, and I'm going to tell you right now, I absolutely loved issue 4 of Absolute Carnage. In this, remember our heroes are in the machine that takes the codices out of your spine. So, and what is it? Venom Hulk is battling Carnage. I don't know why I'm having trouble speaking tonight. It's absolutely insane. I guess I'm just excited about Baltimore. It could have something to do with my mouth being dry. So let's have an awkward sip of beer. There we go. That should help. All right. So yeah, Venom Hulk and Carnage are battling it out in this one, and he's legitimately getting into his mind. Like literally, tentacles came from into Hulk's brain. It was disturbing but fun. Also, we find out that Eddie Brock is finally stopping this whole, I can't fight, I can't get involved because I have a kid now, I got to be here for my kid. He actually steps up and wants to fight, given the responsibility of watching over his kid to Spider-Man, which I found very interesting knowing their past. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, when things look its bleakest, the superheroes show up. Captain America's chucking a shield. Wolverine's got claws out. Thing is clobbering, timing everybody. It was awesome. It's such a good battle. And even that couldn't stop Carnage from winning the day. Apparently, he gets his final codex, or a codex, and starts flying away. So Eddie Brock can't have this, so he goes over, he punches the machine, all the codexes come out, or whatever, it comes out in a sludge, which I thought was weird. And now he's got like everybody's stuff, and he's enhanced by everybody else. In the book, he says he can hear Captain America calling out strategies. He's got the rage of Wolverine all through his body, and his organs are hard, like the Thing. So yeah, this is really good. Like I was really shocked by this, and the artwork in this. I mean, very rarely do I just stop and just stare at some of these pages. I'll show you one. This was just awesome, right? So as you can see in there, Venom's going to go chase down Carnage now before they wake the god Null. I picked up this Absolute Carnage Vintage. Okay, so this is everything that happened that got our superheroes with the codices in them to New York to have them taken out. This is the battle they had to fight to get there. A lot of emphasis on Hawkeye in this one, forgetting that he also had a symbiote with him at one point. We get a lot of stuff from him. Notice he's not in everything else. We don't know why that is. We'll find out in this issue. All in all, because this came out so late and already knowing the outcome, wasn't too invested in this. I was like, well, we already know they're there. What difference does it make? So hopefully something good will come out of this. I doubt I'll pick up issue number 2. I may just try to read it online or something like that. All right, J.J. Abrams and Son. I'm sorry. I know nobody's wanted this to happen, but these cats can actually write a comic book. This was so good. They did a whole play on the with great power comes great responsibility in here, but they kind of reworded it, but the same context was there. We get teenagers being teenagers, thinking that they should fix the world and everything wrong with it in it, but not really having the authority or skill to do it. We find out that, yeah, he can be Spider Man. Everybody calls him Spider Man. He goes out and he even helps somebody like Spider Man does. And he's kind of awkward about doing it, like he just wasn't good. And I'll be honest, the villain in here is very creepy. Listen, before this book gets out of control, you may want to pick it up. I don't care if it's online because you're just a reader. I don't care if it's still in your shops. This is a good story. And I like the fact that, the father, J.J. Abrams, is kind of overseeing this little project with his son and everything. First off, the fact that they get to bond over it is awesome, sure. But the sheer fact that, when you take somebody who directs visualizations of movies and has to run through scripts with people, it just makes sense. And he did a great job in this. I have been absolutely enjoying this. Let's see what else we got. Oh, and of course, I had to pick up X-Men #1. This is the one per store variant. Yeah, that's right. I got a one per store variant. That's kind of my thing. Um, Overall thoughts of this book. I like what they're doing here. And they're doing something we don't really get a whole lot of. Yeah, they rebooted the franchise, and we had that kind of precursor of why it is, and this is what it's turning into. Sure, we get a classic X-Men team that's going to go fight the evils and save the imprisoned mutants right there off the beginning. And then we find out a lot about the motives and why our villains are doing what they're doing. And it doesn't seem like they're really villains, right? Like they have legitimate concerns. And then we kind of get this family dynamic thing where you see family being funny with each other and stuff like that because they're restructuring this whole X-Men thing. After Age of X-Men, I'll be honest, I didn't think it could happen. But Hickman and his team are doing an awesome job, and I can't wait to read some more of this. This is definitely X-Men. I absolutely love it. All right, moving on to Independence. I told you it was a short list this week. We only got 4 more to go. Okay, something is killing the children. This is fun. I pretty much everything I picked up was pretty good, but then I picked up less, so ratio wise. Right? We find out some more well, we justify our characters in this issue, I think, is the important thing to say. Our little blonde-headed warrior who hunts monsters is taking on a sidekick, the boy who survived the last one. They're trying to hang out in a diner, and come to find out, there's a lot of kids missing all over the town. They're trying to map it out. And apparently, there's a lot more to this young lady than there is, especially her little stuffed octopus. Apparently, it has some sort of sentient being inside of it. As we find out when the cops start knocking on the door, find out what all the noise is there and who is this kid. Yeah, I like this. This is just a fun reading. I could see this going someplace visually as far as TV or something goes. Will it ever will? I don't know. Talking about things that need to be on TV. Yeah, once in future needs. I need to watch this on the big screen. I don't even care if it's a Netflix series. This is so fun. And I finally kind of, again, usually it takes me a couple issues when you get into it. I really like where they're doing this whole, they take a story that has several stories, right? So like King Arthur has several stories. And the one you saw from Disney is this kind of like a pick and choose of the stories as they go along. And what they're doing is they're kind of playing off of the stories, talking about what's correct and what's not correct as you go through the traditional story that most people would know. Um, I like that. That's pretty cool. I like the whole thing where they go to the Abbey where the first real king of England was crowned. And sure enough, there's the sword in the stone, because that's the route they're going with this one, because Excalibur actually belongs to the Lady in the Lake. Yeah, that's where things get kind of convoluted. Don't stress out about it. The way they're going about it here is beautiful. Duncan's girlfriend is now part of the team as their sort of like historian person, if you will. I really liked how they're using other tales to explain how things work in here, especially when they were talking about the labyrinth and making sure the young lady could keep the candle lit. She's the string and he's the person, that kind of thing. I thought that was really smart. And apparently Galahad's about to get shot in the face. Yeah, because can't have Arthur occupying that body. It just sounds weird just saying it. It really does. It's awkward. Okay. So, moving on. A book I did not have on my pull list was this Marked. This is an emo girl's fantasy, right? Um, so basically, we have an artist, right? And she sees something and she draws. It's one of those, draw what you see in the picture advertisements, and she does. And of course, she draws a phoenix, right? That can be chalked up to her. She's just being an artist. Well, come to find out, it was actually a strategy to find particular individuals that have certain magic in them. And what they do is they tattoo the magic onto them. So everybody's got these weird tattoos on them. Well, just like in any magic story, there's always forbidden magic, right? You can go too far with magic. And one of them's called a hybrid, where one of the young ladies took like technology and made it into magic and she tattooed on herself. And she caused all kinds of problems. This young lady lost her eyesight. It was just a disaster. Um, so she got kicked out of their little guild, if you will. Um, I think the writer's super smart in this. Um, they obviously wanted to write a story that pushed a certain narrative because all the main characters in this are female, except for like one or two. And of course, all the bad guys are male in this. So the writer had to do something that would capture everybody's attention. I thought it was smartly done. They used the story of World War II and Hitler winning artifacts, like magical artifacts and stuff like that, to win the war. And then they teamed up with these other various magical clubs, just to keep things simple, right? I like that aspect of it. And then they threw some mystery into it with the whole government conspiracy thing behind it, because that's where all Hitler's stuff is now, the bottom basement of the Pentagon. Okay, I'm on board. Like, I got it. That's awesome, right? I'll watch the emo kids run around it and save the world. As long as you keep giving me stuff like that, it was great. Nothing in your face political, or I'm sorry, not political, but narrative wise. It was pretty straightforward. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it. So why am I harping on this? Well, I saw some things on Instagram. Everybody was like, "Oh, another feminist empowered story." I didn't see it that way. I thought it was a fun read. Yeah, I did notice a few things in it, so I was a little tainted going into it. But all in all, when I sat and thought about it, I can't argue with the story. It's a good story. So yeah, I like that. Last but not least, another book that really was not on my pull list. Because every time I think about this, I think of Jim Carrey, and it was The Mask. This obviously isn't The Mask that I know, but thank God. This is kind of dark and satirical. There's some downright just mean stuff going on in here. And in this particular one, what happens when you take a psychopath and you put him in a political office? Yeah, that could be said. So that's it. That's my haul. Told you it was a fast one. Before we finish up, let me cheers to you for stopping by. So don't forget about Blaster Stash at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and Spectacular Spider Grandpa plan on being there, but we'll be driving back that day from Baltimore Comic Con. I don't see us having a problem getting back in time. Baltimore's relatively, we just basically drive through Virginia and DC and we're there. So that shouldn't be a problem. So I hope to see you all there with our live chat going on. Tell us about some of the books you read. Ask us questions about the books we read. Happy to talk to you about it. And also throughout the weekend, we are going to be posting all kinds of videos, both on my website, or here, I should say, here, as well as the Comic Core will constantly have something going on too. They've been gracious enough to allow me and Spectacular Spider Grandpa to use their booth when it's convenient, and we're happy to take that opportunity, especially if we get to interview somebody. Also, I'm going to go around on a special hunt to find veteran artists and writers at the Baltimore Comic Con. It's kind of my duty. I'm part of the American Legion National Press Association. It's how I get free passes to go to this stuff. membership has its privileges. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be my gig there. So I hope to be able to show you some really cool artists, some really cool comic books out there. I know it's something near and dear to my heart. My friend that's going to be coming up with us, Mr. Daniel, he is a artist, so I definitely want to spend some time with him just so he can show you some of his work. I saw some of it today. He sent it to me in text message, and I was just blown away. He's definitely a good artist. So yeah, I want him. I want you all to meet him. He's a sober friend of mine. We'll put it that way. All right, guys. I don't have anything else. This has been great. Don't forget to like and subscribe if that's your thing. I'm totally cool with that. Let me know what you thought about the books that I got. And also, if you know of any veteran uh, comic book artists or story writers or anything along those lines, comment down below. I'll be checking my comments the entire time I'm there. I'll be sure to hunt them down and see if we can't get a little airtime with them. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Hope to see you in Baltimore. Oh, also, if you're going to Baltimore, comment down below. Definitely. So you know how to get to the meetups. Yeah. A lot of this going on. And if we don't make it back alive, hey, guys, it was nice knowing you. It was just beautiful. All right, guys. Good night.